Hello, my name is Ixabu, and this is Unity of Command 2 main campaign Husky mission on hard. 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's look at what happens in the first actually really difficult mission in this campaign. And as it is usual with all sorts of landing, the first things you do are really critical. As you can see, the key to actually succeeding in this mission is dropping those paratroop divisions. As you can see, I'm very aggressive. I'm taking both of the supply hubs out there, and it's absolutely critical. This way, all of the enemies west of you are blocked. And as you can see, I'm already using my British paratroop division to actually kick out those Germans out of the small city. Actually, they're not Germans, Italians. And yeah, this is just the start of the major push around, but like push in the west. As you can see, the Germans try to counterattack. I think they have nerfed that mechanized division, because it used to be, and I remember as it was in the original campaign, as it was back then, back on the release of the game, that most mechanized division quite often dealt significant damage to that American paratrooper division, and I highly recommend you to put the American one there because it's slightly more dangerous, and the American one has more active steps than the British. And by the way, here I'm just establishing my supply lines so that all of these guys get supplies next turn, so they don't stay out of supply. Also, another advantage and purpose of the paratroopers, in addition to blocking the supply of the enemy, of the Axis forces, is to control the bridges. So if you don't take that bridge that block that bridge that the British paratroopers blocked, the AI will be very tempted to use its tank divisions and just cause a lot of havoc in the western parts of the mission, making it much more harder. And by the way, I'm continuing with this kind of strategy using bridges as valves. I've pushed my tank unit, it's not a division as far as I remember, to block another bridge, preventing the Germans once again from taking any initiative with their tanks. And although my paratrooper divisions have got into a little bit of supply trouble, they're already pushing back. And as you can see, the enemies in the west are nothing. Are nothing in the sense of firepower or ability to attack. And by the way, this is one of the uses of naval support, of the barrages there. Yes, Catania airfield is one of the places where you really need it. Sometimes that tank division is very, very difficult to dislodge. Thankfully, I got an overrun with my infantry division of all things. And as you can see, so I'm mopping up that infantry and pushing in. Yeah, in addition to that, those paratroopers divisions, the way you allocate and control your naval barrages is critical in this mission. So don't waste too many of them on the first turn. You pretty much only need to use a naval barrage in Syracuse. That's unless you really you want serious losses there. And so, yeah, leave at least one for Catania Airfield and at least one for Messina. And, use whatever else you want in the middle, in between of those objectives. Sometimes I use one on the approaches towards Messina if I see that my air attacks are not succeeding or aren't as effective as I'd like them to be. Alright, so I'm pushing into Palermo, it's just a matter of time. I've still got 2 turns to actually take those objectives. And this is turning at this point, this is turning into a more of a positional warfare thing. So because the Germans and Italians have very strong defensive positions because of the mountains, because of the bridges, because of the rivers. So it's going to be kind of difficult to push through. And at this point, it actually might be a good idea to focus on your engineers, focus on your special forces, because all of them negate entrenchments. So each of them negates actually one step, so you can actually combine them. Plus, don't forget that special forces reduce your losses, and many special forces like the Royal Marines and Rangers for the Americans, they allow you to do special abilities across rivers, like feint attacks. Normally, they're not available across rivers, so you can take advantage of the specialist steps. Because to be honest, with the Allies, I've just realized after Having played through all of the DLCs as the Germans, as the Soviets, and haven't spent too much time as the Allies in this game since, well, back when it was new, back when the original unupdated, non-updated version of this campaign existed. So now I realize how important the specialist steps are for the Allies, which is not surprising. You can actually plop 3 of them on each division. Well, like, this is insane. This is insane. It's just gonna, like, what's next? It's like just specialist steps and nothing else in your division. No tanks. Oh, yeah, engineers. Engineers are brilliant. Unfortunately, not like we don't get too many of them, and they like are such big fans of dying. But otherwise, yes, so as you can see, I'm pushing in, I'm doing it pretty well, so I still have 6 turns to take Messina, and that's pretty much the only challenge left in this mission, so all of the other objectives are mine, except for Trapani, I think. I'm about to take it, so it's like turn 6, it's all mine. And at this point, I really need to push the northern routes. It generally doesn't work too well in getting to Messina, but you need to get your tanks somewhere, because the tanks are absolutely useless in the east at this point because of the mountains and difficult terrain. They're just, like, you can't properly use them. And here I'm taking accepting some losses just to push through that mechanized division. It's really annoying, but I want to get on the other side of the river, and I managed to do that. Thankfully, with a special forces step, and like, I don't know why I had such trouble dealing with that Helen division. But like, at this point, I don't mind it, because all of these tank divisions are really kind of useless in my main combat, like where in the battles where it matters. So I don't mind actually pushing them and like using them for guard duty and security. Very, very expensive, very high maintenance security divisions. So and let's look at me just clearing the way towards along the northern coast. And as far as I remember, I will move my my supply hubs. To be honest, yes, I've moved my supply hub. To be honest, with supply hubs, it's a bit, how do you say, like, I made a mistake, like, early in the mission, so generally it's not a very good idea to concentrate. I think I've already mentioned it in my cracking videos. It's not a very good idea to focus all of your supply in a single supply hub, unless it's a very small map, like smaller than this. It's a very small map, and you can actually have just one supply hub that covers everything. You don't have any supply problems, which you usually do have. You actually do have them as a matter of habits in general, right? So, and here it's generally better to have a supply hub that covers most of your troops, and if there is like a couple of divisions that are not within your supply, you can always give them like the emergency supplies from the HQ, and maybe like at some point plop another small supply hub somewhere else in a more convenient location, without like increasing the level of your current supply hub. Because quite often, especially I see that as I'm playing the base campaign in Italy, like, you have to cover lots and lots of ground, and quite often you just don't get, like, if you plop a high level supply hub in, like, at the beginning of the mission, it means that you're probably gonna suffer, like, your entire army is gonna suffer, like stay with that supply for a long time. Because you'll have to remove it at some point. It's going to be useless. Like, it's generally inefficient and not flexible. It's much better to keep have like a network of, like, decentralized network of supply hubs on a map, especially if it's a big map, and like alter them as you move, and like push those supply hubs as you move forward. And as you can see, it's turn 10, and I'm already doing pretty well. So I'm using my last naval barrage. And I've got, like, special forces surrounding the city, and it's about to be mine. Yes, I'm taking it. And this is it for Husky. Thank you for watching, and until next time.